Hello all and welcome. I'm your not so humble game master TJ, and this is Dice of Ages presenting CrestVahllen, the Argent Flame. Or is it? Is it something else? A little bit of Argent Flame aside. We're doing a special bonus episode today with some returning members. We have Jackson and James at the table here from, I believe, our only first two sessions that they played. Just the first one.
First one.
Yo, our day oneers are here.
They are Argent Flame before we were the Argent Flame.
Right.
That's true.
They are the embers.
They're part of the Sparks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Argent Sparks.
The Argent
We died
Argent
out a long time
Sparks.
ago.
We saved you even when you guys were gone.
Yeah. We would definitely remember you for sure.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See if I can make this work.
You should totally say.
I should totally be like,
There we
wonder
go.
what they up to.
So,
Just text me real quick.
today we are doing something special. Although the Argent Flame is wherever they may be, there are other members of said Argent Flame that, well, I guess it was before the Argent Flame was ever named, they never dubbed themselves their name, that are still living their lives and affecting the world and moving about.
We consider them Argent Flame.
Yeah.
As do I.
They are in.
They're
They
on
are
Even
in
if
the.
they don't know.
They are in
They're not aware of it.
artwork when we
They're
wear
on
our
the
shirts.
t-shirts.
They are.
Yeah.
They're getting blamed for our mistakes.
Oh, every single time.
Consistently.
Yep.
Damn it, I don't have a crowbar. I shouldn't have given it to Queenie.
So,
Where's my advantage?
there are a couple things you guys are going to see in this game. We decided to... Demetrius isn't here today, out traveling, but we had a chance to see our other two good friends, and so we're playing still in the same time. Miles and miles and miles and miles away. Argus, Zemdak, Log, Cole, Eleazar, Pernua, Chiron, and others, and Trishani.
That's what I was waiting on.
I was like, are you going to say Miss Shiny or Trish Shiny?
Where is she?
I was stalling to
ran off.
remember.
You had to make sure he said the right name.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to be so careful now, but you haven't made that deal in a while. So anyway, our
Can't today.
No, I can't today. It's all right.
dare I say, reeling from an event as hopefully a chapter of their story comes to a
New one.
torpid kind of close. But nevertheless, many, many miles away, almost half a world away, we find a familiar, but not so, but familiar, but not so familiar, I would say. Like someone that you remember, but only had a brief time with, as Queenie and Darius have, in a sense, found. Yes, I know. Have in a sense, found each other. And that's where we're going to start. But before we pick up there, we're going to go around the table and everybody's going to introduce themselves and say what they're playing. I would say this isn't necessarily a one-shot because we're still in world, we're still in canon, we're still in chronology, we're still in time. We're just somewhere else. And things are still happening, meaning that things that happen here could very well affect, just like the other campaigns, could very well affect what's happening with the other parties. So yes, let's go ahead and start with
Destroying souls.
I'm Adam. In this game, I'm going to be playing Dendrar, the city guard, the thin obsidian line, if you will, of this group.
Is he a dwarf?
He is a dwarf.
Cool.
I very much do not fit in with the rest of this group of miscreants and criminals.
I'm Kevin. I will be playing the elf Entialias today. And because I'm going to be lame today. Happy Sunday, guys.
That's your fucking intro. You suck.
Told you it was going to suck.
I am Cody, and today I am playing the human Ducello, the Magnificent. Would you like to see a magic trick? Just give me a coin push, and I'll make it disappear.
Oh my god. I'm in love. Please.
I don't know how I followed that up.
Cody.
You're good luck.
I'm Noelle. Today I'm playing Moray Craiklaird, the dwarf, little lickety spitfire. You know, I'm kind of young, and you know what? I really like to bitey bite when I fighty fight, but it's all really practice for open mic night.
It's awesome.
All right. I'm
Sorry.
Kenton, and I'll be playing Alvin Goldleaf. I make my own money, and I'm here for myself.
And what are you?
I'm human.
Okay.
Sorry. For once, I've never actually played a human.
Nice.
In game, out of game.
Well,
Both.
Sure.
We've met him. I don't know if I would
I am not human. I identify as a meat popsicle.
Very true.
How's Roswell?
I am Jax, and I will be playing Queenie, an Ibcast. And I am here for the bees. What does that mean? You'll find out.
Do you speak for the bees?
I do speak for the bees. That would have been so much better. No hell.
There may be bees.
Bees? Question mark? I don't know.
It's just
They're
some
the
bees.
There were so many better ones. Just go.
And I'm James. I am going to be playing Darius Starinov, the half-dark elf who proves that no matter how intelligent you are, you can still be very, very stupid.
You purposely made Darius. We had actually discussions with this at length. How you made Darius go like, "Oh, this boy is gonna be so tragic and dumb, but just by choice, and I'm just gonna like you." I've seen you play other characters too. You want to inject as we should save this for post-session time.
It's the best when he catches himself.
It's been a while, guys, but we miss Jackson James so very much, and so it's hard for us. Okay. So, as I said, we should jump right into it. I think you guys ready to play some games?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, are you guys ready to play some games?
You know it.
I love you. Okay, cool. So, it is the evening of the 34th of Hylock. Oh, I'm sorry. It is the evening of the 35th of Hylock. Let me correct myself. There is a full moon in the sky. For those that are familiar with it, I believe that would be the Ranger. This is Amsiel, which I believe is the I believe the largest of the three moons.
I think it's the smallest.
Is it the smallest? Okay. Yeah, you would know better than I do because I don't have the notes in front of me on that one. Thank you.
Smallest moon.
It's Smalls. Smalls play.
Bezer,
Yeah.
Selly,
So you've got
Knowledge,
Biggie
and
and
Amsel.
medium and Smalls.
Is a full moon.
Log knows, not me.
You also know that there is an aurora borealis farther to the north this evening. But that's far from your mind. That's not what matters.
Are we in the northern hemisphere?
It's the time has come to put away such childish things, especially for you. Queenie, you and Darius walk among the headstones outside of the capital of the Protectorate. not too far as you meander through what looks like a possibly abandoned pumpkin patch. You make your way to a... Don't look at me like that. You make your way to a... looks like ruined and roofless gravekeeper's house. Or dwelling that is, again, long since been abandoned. Darius, you're leading this group of 2.
This awkward posse.
Darius, I'm going to consistently get that wrong. I don't know what
It's
I
an
tell.
accent thing.
Daria with an S.
Yeah, just remember the song.
You're standing on my neck. Oh my God! Don't sue us.
Am I the only one who
Yeah.
went to the old '90s cartoon?
Yes, Darius.
No, that's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think
That's
of
the
it
theme
as a
song.
song. I don't think of a
It's
song
about-
when I think of that.
Well, I was also thinking Cake, the song from Cake too.
Daria.
Yeah.
I won't...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep,
stop making
that's
me
it.
sing.
That's it. You know
So
what?
anyway, God, it's a day of sidetracks today.
You held a great gun to his head there to make him sing. I'm just gonna say that.
So you two are making your way here, but I want to say that we're about a moments before sunset, as the orange begins to kind of pierce the sky, and the dulcet tones of some of the birds and bush, like pheasants and that one that we hear always at the archery range.
The prairie. I don't remember. I'm
It's okay.
blanking on
The
it at the
prairie
moment.
Lorry, I think is what it's called, or something like that.
The Western Meadowlark. There we go.
The meadowlark. Thank you. God, we're really getting into it today. Starting off on the right foot. Here we go. Queenie, you find it difficult to find any peace, regardless of what's going on. Darius, are you?
If he
Darius,
is,
fucking fuck, Jesus Christ.
if he is, it would be very hard to tell because he would have the obnoxious habit of being like, yeah, we're just going on a casual trot. Like, I'm just going to, if there's like a little stone that it would be kind of skillful for me to like tap across on my, like, he would be basically prancing around this graveyard like he owns it, acting like there is not a concern in the entire world.
Amazing.
It's okay, I've got enough concerns for both of us. It's fine.
It's got 20 in charisma. Apparently, they can shut off their sweat glands at will.
He's moving too much for you to tell. You see, you gotta aerate.
Just doing one of these.
Jumping from headstone to headstone, just
Yeah.
Get the wind blowing through. It's fine. No one will notice.
Perfect. We're actually going to. You arrive at this gravekeeper's. What seems like it was the remains of such. Darius, you know. I said that right that time. Darius, you know that under one of the rugs there's a trapdoor that leads to other areas. Easily enough, you arrive at it. You remove a piece of cloth. You move a crate around. You open the hatch. There's a couple things here that are supplies of which you have not seen before, but that wasn't what you were told to retrieve. And you know that further down below there is another hatch that leads to another chamber. But before we actually get into that, I want to rewind a little bit, and I want to play this scene. Well, actually, let's do this. Who goes first down the hatch?
Darius would gesture for Queenie.
You know what? I don't have time to fight about this. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay, you hop down.
Yeah.
Okay, roll a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh, cool.
First roll.
I love the just.
Neat. 23.
Trap door for a meeting place of a clandestine organization? Sure, it's not trapped at all.
23 and would like to land with the war fans, like, out in case there's anything sketchy down here.
I requested myself to look as awesome as possible.
Correct.
Please, DM. May I have another?
You hear a little gasp from Darius.
23, you do what you land perfectly fine. You land, however, beautifully you want to land, you do feel as you're falling the arch of where your ankle attaches to the rest of your foot catch upon on something, like when you're walking through something and something catches and you're about to trip and you try to like pull your foot up again to try to catch yourself. You are able to pull your foot up mid-air and not trip it, but you did feel tension of a tripwire that you almost triggered. So you turn this drop into a impromptu front flip and superhero landing. And I guess just instinctively, out of showmanship, for who the fuck knows why, the war fans come out.
Yeah, just like ready.
No paparazzi here, but you got it.
There could be something down here.
Yeah. But the trap is not triggered.
Queenie just kind of like looks back up the trapdoor at Darius and just goes, "You know, you could have warned me about the tripwire. Just saying."
I would have if I knew about it. Where is it by chance?
Queenie like gestures to where it is so that Darius can like see it.
It's this. Now that you points it out and looks at it, yeah, it's this nice, fine tripwire. God, you really should have known about that. Yeah. You're like, this is my bread and butter. What is going on? Great. So, Queenie, you're down there. Darius, you take a moment to get down there as well.
Much more daintily and carefully.
Sure. Yeah, you just rather than jump, you just kind of crawl down. You aren't exactly sure where this other hatch is, though, so you might have to look around. I will tell you that the room smells of musk and dust and mothballs and a couple of other things. Things have been stored here for quite a bit of time. There's crates and chests around in quite a very small room. Not very many of them, but they all seem to be heavy because of the way, as you're stepping throughout, you can hear the creak of their movement across the wooden floor. Meaning that they could they have stuff in them, possibly heavy stuff in them. What would you like to do?
Darius is just immediately going to, do a perimeter and make sure there's nothing he's not aware of in here. But
it's like a 15 by 15 room. It's very small. There's not much in here. You have very little room to actually walk. You're lucky if you have like a 4-foot corridor between these two stacks that kind of push up against the wall of all these crates, boxes, chests. You do a little perimeter. I'd say, are you like sifting through things, or are you just kind of glancing about?
just glancing, making sure there's not like anyone hiding here that we're not aware of or anything.
Perception check then.
I'd like to do the same.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead. You're like, your eyes are burning in the back of Darius's from what just happened, and then you realize, oh, they're looking for something I should probably look to. So.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
A total of 26.
Congratulations.
Mod 20.
Mod 20. Hey, oh, mod. I forgot you guys said it that way. Yeah.
We like dirty.
Fun.
Yeah.
We enjoy things dirty.
That's on brand.
Nasty. Just the
Nastiest 20.
stankiest,
Stank 20.
dirtiest. Hasn't showered in weeks 20. Just that Limburger 20.
No thanks.
Take a 20 out, you take a 20.
You both, as far as you could tell, you both quickly noticed that you appear to be alone in this room. You listen for a thief and a ranger. It's very easy to know whether there's somebody else in the area. You seem to be left alone. What you don't notice, well, you're not really looking at anything, but at first glance, that's all this was, and was to listen to see if there was it. You do not see any other entrance or exit here. This could be where you're meeting, but it's kind of cramped.
And that will be part 2. Just very lightly, basically like sliding his feet across the ground, seeing if there's anything that gives weirdly, seeing if there's any crates that look heavy that like can easily be pushed.
Sure.
Just
Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
investigation. That is going to be an 18.
18. You start to move around the room, sliding your feet, still kind of checking for traps, being aware of running your hands and fingers along things, seeing if their weight matches what they look like or how they feel. You do notice something that feels and sounds like a crate itself, with those crossbar reinforcements of wood that does seem to have more of a hollow sound to it, and does seem to react more to your push. You look at it further, and it seems like dust has collected on, or I should say not collected, on a portion of one of the cross reinforcement bars on one of the sides of the crate, the 6-sided crate.
In which case, check if it pushes, check if there's something that gets moved there, just investigating that specific spot.
Sure.
more.
You start to just kind of fiddle with it. No roll required. You start to fiddle with it, and you kind of just slide it. The crossbar is actually not attached to the rest of the crossbar, and just kind of just pushes up against the side reinforcement bar portion of it, kind of like a door handle, and with like a sliding unlock, and you just hear this wooden unlocking mechanism as the one side of the crate actually becomes ajar, and like as if it has hinges on the other side and like a door.
See, I told you. Pushes in.
Yeah, you open the door, and it looks like the back side of this crate that was up against the wall there's no wall there. It's just hiding a big old hole in the wall that goes into a further tunnel that seems to be subterranean. This one looks like it was less basement, rigid, square and rectangular, and more dug, I would say, like mined and not as much work stone as it is of rough stone. It is completely dark in here. Both of you have dark vision, of course, but it is at this point it has become pitch black if you enter here. The tunnel goes far enough where your vision drops off before you can see any other light or any end of it. Do you enter? Okay. It does appear to have a small grade to it, maybe like about maybe a 3% grade. You are going down, and you continue for a minute, 2 minutes. Realize that you probably traveled a couple hundred feet by the end of it, until you start to see what looks like some sort of flickering of light glancing across the condensation of stone and a bend in the tunnel. Go ahead.
He is keeping an eye out for traps this time.
Okay.
You're going more slowly, and he's
Okay. You
like
got
feeling around probably more than he needs to. He's like overcorrecting now, but
it. Sure. Does that mean you're in front?
it does now.
Okay. Go ahead. You can roll an investigation check if you like.
I'm just keeping an eye out as well, like kind of a few steps ahead of him in case he misses something.
11.
11. You're taking your time, slow. I'd say you look a lot like, every once in a while, you look a lot like Krunk from Emperor's New Groove when he's doing his own theme music. And just sliding up against the wall.
Trying to act normal about it, like super suave.
High stepping.
Trying to investigate in ways where you can still keep your arms up so you don't sweat.
Gotta aerate.
You gotta aerate. You don't think you don't see anything. You haven't found anything. So you feel pretty confident that you're good. You continue to move along. You get to the bend in the area, and you start to hear voices. Conversations happening between several individuals. And then you hear like mumbling of a language that you don't understand, maybe. And actually, what languages do you speak?
Elvish, Sylvan, Celestial, Thieves' Cant Common.
What about you?
I speak Infernal. I don't know if that. Anyway, Infernal, Common, Gnomish,
Yeah, we'll
Norwegian.
Redo
and,
stuff later.
no, just those.
Norwegian and
Gnomish was the.
Gnomish. Okay, so you do understand some of the languages from over there. As a few voices start to talk to each other. But one of them you can't understand. There's like some mumbling. Go ahead and roll. I'm gonna say either. No, I'm gonna say an insight check for this one.
Insight?
Yeah. What you do here before this is.
That's another natural 20 for a total of 26.
Shit! Okay, so
Okay. Interesting.
You're on
you
point
hear-
today.
You hear, are you sure we can trust it? Like, and then you hear a male voice. Shh. We might be in too deep now. Quieter down. And then you hear the mumbling is not mumbling at all in another language that you can't understand, but the cooing of, or not cooing, I would say, but like the sobbing of a youngster, a young child. Not like super young, super young, but a kid of not quite like working teenage age kind of thing. But not like toddler.
This may be worth reminding. the
I know, I
GM.
remember.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely remember.
Okay.
You hear the you also hear then the voice of someone else. You hear the tearing of fabric and some rapping, and you hear here. Wipe them down. Try to stay quiet, little one. All we can do is wait now. What do you guys do? Hey, you want to
Darius
pop
is
out?
still walking in, like.
You're at the bend when you start to hear these voices, and I assume you pause for a moment because
Yeah.
you're being cautious.
I just kind of put a hand on Darius' shoulder to get him to kind of wait for a second. Do you know exactly who we're looking for?
I know that we are helping escort a couple of people, so I assume this is probably the people. So all of this seems to be checking out.
Alright. Well, I'll let you take the lead on this one since this is your circus, not mine. And with that, Queenie takes the hand off the shoulder and keep going, I guess.
Okay,
I'm
so
following
you
your
go
lead.
first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You walk in. I want to say yes. Who's the mastermind again? Right. Okay.
I know it's out of character, it's the norm, but this is kind of what everybody else left me.
That's true.
And Delhi's very true.
It is.
Oh my god, my batteries of my mouse are dying. You walk through around the corner and you see quite a few people here. You see what looks like a cluster of about maybe 7 gnomes and about 3 dwarves. They immediately respond very quickly to your presence being there, because I assume you're very, very sneaky. You're very, very sneaky, and you just show up out of nowhere. One of the dwarves is a woman who has her like hair shaved except for like the top that kind of flops over to one side, wearing some like leather armor with some bracers and shoulder pauldrons, very stern face. She starts to move very quickly in advance to you as soon as she catches your eye, and in like one movement starts to advance on you and pull this big old hammer from her back, and just like have it like right there in front of you. You see behind her, almost as if he is ready to push her into you. This other, little shorter, one-armed dwarf with an axe in their hand. And the gnomes appear to have not done much. There have been 2 of them that have kind of like shielded the rest of the family, what it seems like a family, like a pod, behind them. Do you do anything?
He bows. Like
Okay.
very full dramatic bow.
Okay, this is what happens. They come in. Both of these 2 dwarves come in and like go to take swings at you, and you just bow, and they right over the head, and right over the head, and they're both like, "It's
I'm
your
the
business."
I'm the help.
Just the 2 of you.
I was told there's more people coming, so hopefully not. As far as I am aware, you have people from the city who should also be coming here.
How do we know that's the truth?
That is an excellent question.
You hear her like leathery skin tighten around the shaft of her hammer.
Well, for starters, I bowed instead of, getting defensive when you just threw an axe at me, so that's a good start.
It's a hammer.
Hammer. I bowed.
Most creatures bow when they know they're beat.
I mean, yeah. Why would I still be standing here? I can run really fast. I could get out of here if I wanted to. I'm here to help you. If you want to hit me, you can hit the help, but that's not really going to help you much.
She looks back at the other dwarf. He's like,
That was a weird clank.
I don't know how to
Magic
turn that off.
That's the sound that sending is,
was
right?
It's not ascending.
That's the sound when you receive the sending.
Exactly.
Was that what I said first? Oh, okay.
Well, no. Yeah, you don't know. Well, so, there's a tense moment here before eventually the grip just slightly loosens as this dwarven woman looks you up and down. You're much taller than her, but she doesn't seem to be at all intimidated by your presence whatsoever.
She shouldn't be.
That she looks you up and down a little bit. She's more concerned with everybody else. She does relax her posture a bit, but she doesn't at all release any ground of attrition, and she makes sure that she interposes herself between you and everybody else. I will say the gnomes here look like a pod, like a family, like they belong to each other. You can tell that their likeness is similar. They all seem to be, I don't want to say scared, but cautious. They don't have anything on them. As far as they don't have packs, they don't have coin purses. They have their clothes on their backs and maybe like a hammer, a weapon or a dagger here and there that they may have grabbed, but these look like more like tools or something. You see one of the female dwarves has a mining pick. The other one looks like they have a small jeweler's instrument that in a pinch, kind of like an awl that could be used as a weapon that they all came to be grasping onto. You see the eldest among the gnomes have just a construction worker's hammer, like a clawed hammer, and that's all they have. They look rough. Some of their clothes are torn. They don't look like beggars, like they haven't had clothes and everything, but it looks like something happened. They almost look like they were in a situation that caused them to recently be of this persuasion. The youngest of the gnomes that you finally actually see now, Queenie, what you had thought was a younger child, perhaps not what it was before, and you now notice is not like, you know, a teenager, but a wee babe, like a newborn, like a
Oh, wow.
like we're talking maybe a week old. Gnome that the eldest female gnome appears to be. Well, I'm sorry, not the eldest female gnome, but the eldest male gnome is holding. He's got a claw hammer in one hand and this gnome babe in his other hand, arm swaddled, and they're cooing quite a bit. You get on that natural 20, it's like, I think the way I narratively think about it is that natural 20 is I think that Queenie was so intent on hearing what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot more narrative sense to me.
Yeah.
Or she projected that.
Mm-hmm.
So these people look scared. Darius, you know what your job is. But where's everybody else? You're supposed to meet not just them here, but other Noxetra. I'm going to do two things here. Now that it's happened, I actually want to go back a little bit. I want to talk about how you guys met here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come to you guys. Don't worry. They get much more time than you because you have had a year and some change. So we're going to rewind to Queenie. You are talking to an individual at a dive bar establishment. You just asked them where you can get some more information.
Mm-hmm.
This goblin with vitiligo on them. It looks like they have patches of blue and white around them. Looks like they have some human persuasions, almost as if they might be like half goblin, half human.
Mm-hmm.
Is picking their teeth with like a very pointed pinky finger. As you ask them this question, they... What's it to you?
Why do you care why I want to know?
Because information has its price.
What's your price? Name it. I don't have time for games. So if you're going to waste my time, I'll find someone else who won't.
I like your robe.
Great. What will you give me for it?
Maybe I can know where you got it. And then we can talk.
Don't see what the harm is in that. Is there any reason why Queenie would be... Okay. Sure.
Cool. Where'd you get it?
Assuming they would know where it...
Home.
Yeah. Would it been... Oh, it would have been homemade, yeah.
Don't mind the honey stains.
Pineapple juice.
A bee just, like, crawls back into the robe. Like,
Let me get that.
It's probably
let me
heavily
get that
perfumed
honeycomb
by
out
some
of there for
pollen.
you.
smells very sweet.
not there.
Look, if you want it, you can have it. I can get another one. So, or I can tell you where I got it from. Home. It's homemade. So,
Where's home?
Solis.
Good to know. Now we can do business.
Wonderful.
You're looking for somebody who knows things, right?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know anyone in particular who knows things, and I wouldn't know that any person of that persuasion or in particular would be at a certain location at a certain time.
Of course.
And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you for a measly 44 gold. And I absolutely wouldn't tell you to leave it on the table while I go grab myself another drink.
Queenie, how much money they would have? Or are we assuming they have the money?
I would say that would be like all of it. I'd say, like, that's almost everything.
Queenie slides the gold forward and sees what the immediate response is.
You just put it on the table and slide it forward.
Not like removing a hand from it, but like showing that, they have it.
Well, I don't know what that's for, but
Put it away.
I'm gonna go grab myself a drink. And they get up and walk over to the bar. Very purposefully, with the intent.
Is there like a specific place they want the money to go to?
You're not a thief. How would you know?
Exactly.
You rogue? You're a thief? Have you been in? Have you done any organized crime? Have you ever done any crime
of
before?
course not.
You done a
I've
single
been living
crime?
in the woods this whole time.
So,
I'm just gonna.
I have a feeling that Queenie's like clueless.
Yeah, no,
like,
for sure. Like Queenie,
She's
Queenie
like,
does
"Why,
not-
just speak to
Just-
what you
just-
fucking say, and like, speak the way the wolf calls."
Mm-hmm. Like they just kind of put the gold back, somewhere tucked away
Sure.
on their person.
I will say, with your passive perception being so high, they
Yeah.
are definitely keeping an eye on you in a
Right.
very, very, very stealthily way.
Queenie does their best to not look like overtly confused, but probably would, just not having really dealt with these kinds of people much before,
Sure.
just kind of give off a little bit of an air of like, I don't know what you want. Like, I'm trying to cooperate,
Sure.
but I don't know exactly what you want.
So what do you do?
So this like goblin kind of gets up and walks off,
Like half goblin, but yeah.
or half goblin gets up and walks off. Okay.
Well,
Does-
I mean, like to the bar.
Yeah.
Couple
does,
feet away.
Does Queenie get the sense that like they should leave or go somewhere else?
Roll an insight check.
Great. Oh, that's not great. 12.
You're a little thirsty.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Queenie. Oh no.
Not that
Queenie
means anything.
Gets up and doesn't like directly follow, but kind of after a second goes to a different like area, and I guess just kind of like of the bar, and just kind of sits there for a second and just tries to think about what they should be doing, and like orders a drink, I guess. I don't
Okay,
know.
you order a drink.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Just an ale.
Probably not something alcoholic at this
Okay.
point.
What would you like? Help me out here.
Like a juice. Is there
Juice.
juice? Can I have a juice?
That's Queenie's go-to.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You get a bartender looks at you like, turns around, walks over past the goblin individual, does a sidelong glance, grabs a mug from under the table, looks to be pewter with a crack in it, brings it over to you. Just puts it on the...
Just gets kind of absorbed into the cloak.
It's empty.
Oh, it is? Okay. I have no idea. Okay.
Kind of
you
just
just-
looks at you expectantly.
Queenie like takes the mug.
First time.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
You ever tip?
Yeah, like tipping a server? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
You know where that term comes from?
No, can't say I do.
You ever have a barber? I mean, I don't, obviously.
Yeah, I have either.
Well, like bartenders, barbers, a lot of other people like to talk. And we know a lot of things because of it, because people like to use us as like traveling therapists. So, and we have a lot of, well, therapists for travelers and a lot of other people. And we listen. We're good listeners. And sometimes give you a tip or two. Sometimes people give us a tip in exchange.
I see. I'm looking for information. Perhaps you can help me for a tip.
Well, you're not good at this, are you?
No, I'm not. I can give you more details on what I'm looking for.
Please don't. A cracked mug doesn't hold much. Not liquid, anyway.
And he just starts putting money into the...
What are you doing?
I don't know!
What are you, a grandma at the bank with pennies?
I guess, I don't know. I just need you people to be fucking direct. I don't have time for this.
Be more discreet.
Fine.
Like, I mean,
Just
you have
tell
a
me.
bag, right?
Okay, can we cut the shit if you... I
I'm
don't
not
have
the
time
one
for
going
you to be
kerplunk,
making fun of me
kerplunk,
right now.
kerplunk.
Just tell me what I need to do. That's all I want to know.
Put the bag of money in the cup.
Okay. Jesus. They do it. Gently, but
It's
they do
an
it.
empty cup. Right.
You could have just... Any one of you could have just told me that to start, and this would not have been this complicated or difficult. I'm just pointing that out.
All right. Okay. Listen, you must be new in town.
I've never been anywhere for very long, at least not
Okay.
for the last month
Great.
or so.
Okay. All right.
And you'll never have to see me again.
Well,
Just tell me what I need to know or where I need to go, and you'll never have to deal with me ever again. How does that sound? Great, I'm sure.
I'm not the one. Just gets up and walks over and puts the cup under the thing, starts cleaning another mug, and just looks at the goblin. And the goblin gets up, turns around, glances at you for a second, and starts walking out the door.
Queenie follows, I guess.
Okay, cool. You follow him stealthily?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Roll a stealth check.
Cool.
Nice.
That's only a 10.
That's not bad.
16? 16? 16.
Okay. They continue down a few blocks, and then they turn into an alley. Okay?
Yeah,
You
I mean,
continue
keeping
then?
an eye out the whole time.
Sure. You turn into the alley, no goblin. You're bad at this, aren't you? You hear from above you, sitting a perch, one of those like signposts that sticks out from the side of the wall, like one of those iron bars that has a sign thing swinging to it, of a sign that has long since been decrepit and no longer in use.
I feel like you don't need me to answer that question, so yes.
Look,
Just tell me where I need to go.
That's not really how things work here, because there's
Okay,
a
then
lot
tell
of
me,
people that
then
have
would
to
you-
be
you could
protected.
just tell me
No,
how
no,
they
no, no.
work.
Listen. Okay, I get it. You're new. I get it. But look, there's a lot of shit going on right now, and business owners are finding it hard to conduct business because, well, let's say the tax man wants to put his foot on everybody's face. In fact, not only on a face, but wants to put us like our face. Okay, our face, think cheese. sewer grate, cheese grater. Foot of tax, man. See where I'm going with this?
I do.
Yeah, then I become crocodile food. Okay, so that's what's going on right now. All right. So it's a certain amount of discretion is what's needed. Some very overzealous law enforcement decides it wants to do a certain thing. So when people like you are bad at what that happens, you put all of us at risk. So again, tell me why.
You could have told me any of that before, and then none of this would have
Oh,
happened.
sure. Yeah, because there are fucking not people put up in positions to be undercover or listen to certain things, and yeah, you know what? Let me just yell out on the
What do you need
rooftops
from
like a
me?
town crier,
What
and
do
go
you
like,
need
"Excuse me,
to-
do you have something that is stolen that I could buy from you? I would like to fence it for currency, because that goes over very well." I'm sorry.
It's all right. I
I'm
understand.
tense.
I am bad at this. I'm making your life difficult, and I do apologize. It's not my intention. And I didn't want to cause any problems for you.
Well, you paid, so whatever, but please.
It won't happen again.
Thank you.
Tend to be a bit overzealous myself. So. How can I make your life
Times are
easier?
rough, so I'm gonna cut you a deal, all right? Because I need the money. So, and I don't mind who knows it, but please, you gotta be, because fuck you. There's a reason why we do it like this. Because when we let Figaro's like you get in through here, we all go down. So.
Yeah.
There's a place called the Rusty Spork, not too far from here. Go to the back. About 2 hours. There's a dumpster. After the chef throws whatever's left, the offal in the dumpster, knock on the dumpster. 2 times, then stop for 5 seconds. Knock 4 more times. Tap your feet twice. Take a big sigh. Can you fart on command?
I'll make it work.
You can just do one of these too if you need to. It's fine.
I can do
Do
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah. All right.
One of those.
Sure.
Then dance a little jig.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yep. And then do shave and a haircut, but do it on your teeth with your fingernails.
Noted.
You got all that?
Got it.
Great. Good job.
I feel like half of that was just made up to make you look stupid.
looking at this person, just based on their appearance, can I discern like anything aside from money, since I am now out of that, anything that they might need that I might have, like any kind of, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like the only things I'd really have on me are like probably food and stuff like that, but like do I get the sense
Doesn't
that
look
there's
malnourished. Doesn't look underfed.
like can I help this person in any way to kind of help apologize for the inconvenience that I've caused?
You can give him more money.
I don't have any more money.
You can give him something that's worth money.
Some of the what?
You could give him something that's worth money.
Queenie, actually, yeah, Queenie will take off like some of their like horn jewelry, since they do have some nicer like adornments, and just kind of offer it. It's worth something, I promise.
This is for.
An apology.
All right.
Again.
By the way, you don't have to do any of that. Just open the dumpster and go in. I'll see you. They're gone.
Queenie just turns and walks
Yeah.
out.
All right, cool. So fast forwarding, you end up at the dumpster. You climb into the dumpster. The dumpster has false bottom, and you go down. You find yourself in a corridor with a door.
that is solid, like iron with steel rivets, with no handle and no anything. It's just a flat door with what is it called? Reinforcement barrier, like perimeter that goes all around it with rivets, and it's just dead end.
There's nothing else at the end of this corridor.
It's pitch black down there. That's what it is.
Okay.
You do hear.
Gonna whistle the same thing back, I suppose, or knock, or I guess I don't know.
You hear that? That is not the code.
Did the
That's
goblin?
not shaving a haircut.
I guess if there were some of the things that the goblin said to do that seem reasonable, those or the half goblin, those ones I will do.
You've been tricked several times. Like this, none of this was like.
Queenie just kind of knocks on the door
Yeah.
and is like, "Please, for the love of God, someone just
Be straight with me.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of this." And you probably recognize
Yeah,
the voice.
would I recognize that voice?
It's up to you. I probably do.
You probably would,
Yeah.
yeah.
With your how good you are with people and thieving and all that jazz. Yeah. You're like, what?
You would probably hear a very perplexing, very hurried shuffling noise on the other end of the door. The door would, like, budge just slightly, and then there would be more shuffling noise, like someone just pushed the door really quickly and is running back towards something.
I love this. So the door is now ajar. So this is what you hear. This is what you hear. You hear.
Queenie's gonna like unfurl their war fans just in case and kind of like very carefully nudge the door open.
So you nudge the door open. There
Yeah.
is a single candle. As you nudge the door open and peer it, there is what appears to be an empty room with a single candle upon a table, with a single chair at it, and in that chair is an individual with their heads down, just in the shade, with like a brim of a hat leaning back.
Definitely not panting.
Definitely not panting. Doing like shuffling with some cards.
Queenie like closes the fans and sheathes them, but kind of keeps a hand closed.
Sure.
I was told that you might be able to give me some information on something or someone I'm looking for. Does that sound like something you might be able to do? And just, if you can't, just tell me. I'm very tired of playing these games.
I'm known to know a lot of things, Queenie. What do you need?
Queenie, like, pauses for a second. Would you mind, taking your hood off?
Why?
Why?
Just curiosity.
Shuffling, like, stops for a second. Shits have all been so cool. But just pulls back the hood so that...
I swear to God. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
And that's where we're gonna cut right
Yeah.
there. Y'all know your job. But all four of you know your job. You have been given the job to escort a group of individuals, smuggling them into town during what is now, actually, let's back up a little bit. You are all denizens of the city. You have been for quite a while. You've all lived here before, the four of you. And you are keenly aware of these sweeping reforms that have happened under the new potentate Lady Rhea. There has been an event called the Pulsing that it was some arcane waves emitted from the Midnight Athenaeum, which is the archives, these massive obsidian archives that are in the center of the capital city of the Protectorate. But recently there was an event called the Pulsing in which massive arcane waves about a few months ago encompassed the city in just pulses and caused gravity to reverse for many denizens of the city. Many lives were lost, and many more were never seen again. including the deaths of the then potentate and his youngest son. His daughter was the only survivor of those rulers that has now stepped up. She is 17 years old. She is a human. Her name is Lady Rhea. And since then, she has been conducting sweeping reforms and cracking down on crime, attempting to abolish slavery within all of her lands, and attempting to eliminate organized crime within her city, and make sure she shores up borders, as the Protectorate has been very lax with that stuff. It is a vast amount of land to manage. But she's determined, and that doesn't spell great for you guys as you thrive on the cracks in between society, the underbelly of things that must happen, a necessary evil, as it were, but not necessarily evil, as evil is a mortal construct, nothing that actually exists, but more of a subjective turn. All you view yourselves as many of you would, is just a counterculture, something that the checks and balances for how the other half lives. You all have been given a job. Some of you take this job for personal reasons, others for reasons of duty, and others have something to prove. But you are all members of Noxetra. Noxetra is for all intents and purposes, I don't want to say Thieves Guild, but I don't want to say black market, but I want to say the less than savory and less than legal, kind of like organized crime syndicate within the city. And I don't think they have, I wouldn't say that they have a headquarters here as much as there is a large concentration of Noxetra here. Noxetra is spread throughout the Protectorate, but none of you have actually spent any considerable amount of time outside of the city. Most of you were born and raised here. And for whatever reason, this is what you do now. Your job, as it has been described to you by messengers that get you information, a network of urchins that move information throughout the city for bread, coin, or otherwise, is to escort and technically smuggle people into the city. Now, the reason why it was happening now is because the renaming ceremony of the city is about to happen. Another one of these sweeping reforms, trying to go out with the old, rebranding the city, rebranding the Protectorate even, and going along with try to rename a new era for the Protectorate, as it has grown stagnant in its past couple hundred years, if not more. Longer than any of you have been alive. A lot of these ceremonies, most, a lot of these, as you are aware, with such big ceremonies and such big pomp and circumstance comes a lot of security and a lot of indisposedness of the Crescero. The Crescero are the town guard and I don't want to say standing army, but the capital's law enforcement, town guard, and otherwise. They can be turned into a militia if needed, but there are a vast number of them, as the capital is very large. It is the largest city in the continent, and it is behind several walls, a large 80-foot outer wall that encompasses, I think it's 4 miles in diameter, if I'm not mistaken. The city itself,
I think radius,
is it,
based on the map you sent us.
should be a scale on the right side there.
I think it's 8. It's 8 all the way across.
Is that what it
The
says?
scale just itself is 4 miles, and the scale isn't the full city.
It's
Is
like
that it's the
half.
scale of the radius?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
because
it's
of
like
that.
a
So
little
Yeah. So
So that's 4 miles there.
yeah. So the yeah
or
the
more.
the entirety of the city within the outer wall
It's about 8 miles across.
Yeah, it's about 8 miles in diameter, 4 miles in radius from the center. And in the center is the towering obelisk, this towering spire of obsidian with gold veins interlaced with it. It is the Midnight Athenaeum. A bit defunct, not barely any go there, but it was once touted as the greatest center of knowledge and records that has ever existed. It is within several inner walls, and many would forget about it if it wasn't pierced the sky almost every day. Well, every day. It doesn't all the time. Well, if it's a cloudy day. But it is over 1,000 feet tall. But maybe barely, if 100 feet wide at its base. This super slender spire that just sticks out. It is on the capital's flag. The crest is of the spire with the veins of gold, surrounded by the heraldry of the Crescero. You guys are running late for your job. Due to the circumstances of the renaming ceremony and a bunch of other things that are happening and all these reforms, the Crescero, as I said, are indisposed, leaving small cracks in the fabric of the network of security to do lucrative things, as money's been tight, because you have had to have been more careful with your clandestine dealings lately, especially due to the crackdown. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to make up much losses and get back on track. Hopefully, maybe you can make enough to leave, or make enough to make it up the ladder, or make enough to go legit, or any of the other goals that you guys have in mind. But you are supposed to meet outside the city at one of the checkpoint locations in order to smuggle a group of travelers into the city. For whatever reason, was not disclosed to you. Some people try to get away from the law. Some people want to go in unnoticed. Some people do it for fun. There's only one rule when it comes to this type of job. You get the job done, and you're the only ones who know you get the job done. Other than those that already know. But you're running late, and it's one of yours fault. Which one?
I wanted to see how many of you were going to point at me before I raised my hand.
Could I have prepared something ahead of time, knowing that information? With my trade skill of making forgeries, can I make some documents for these people?
Yeah. I would say that's probably something that you were doing to prep the way anyway. I would say you cannot complete these forgeries without their likeness and their signature, because you don't know what their signature looks like. Yeah, you can prep some. You can go 80% of the way on these. I will say that you were not made aware of how many.
Right. But
you can. I would say that just knowing that this job was coming up or was given to you, you just make a stack and throw them in your bag, and you have some blank ones ready to go, some blank passports.
Yep.
A single special request has been made by these. By the person who gives it. Now, a lot of these jobs are given to you anonymously via urchins. There was a special caveat to this one. Nobody can see these people. Nobody. They must make it to where it is that they need to go, and nobody can know that they are here, whether by visual or magical means. This is very hush-hush. It also means, with that caveat, it's a lot harder. It also means a lot more money. So, it's your fault that you're running late. Why?
Honestly, it was on purpose, but he's gonna make it out like he was being forgetful and not paying attention to time.
So what is it that you were doing that caused the rest of them to be late?
Well, honestly, I was just waiting outside because that's just kind of him. But I will tell them that I was busy reading my book, which I show them, and it's a theorem on falling objects across the planes.
Okay, so you all know that you have others that are attending and that are attending this meeting. You're never really given how many, but you know how to signal to each other if you like collect in a town square, and you also know that there is when you're given a certain coin or a certain piece from the Argent, unless the like puzzle that you're given, like it's like a wooden puzzle box, is completed, not everybody is there. And the three of you arrive and somehow clandestinely or just sneakily pass off pieces between each other, recognizing that you are of the ilk that you are, and realize the puzzle's not complete. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And you're starting to get to that point where, okay, this has gone foobar, we have to get out of here. Before you arrive, and aren't very, I will say.
He's still keeping on his absent-minded professor kind of
yeah.
gaze right now.
I say you may arouse suspicion the way you are acting. I'll say you're not very inconspicuous about your arrival, and it kind of puts them off a little bit. But you eventually do arrive, and you just show them your theses. Be like, "Hey, I did the thing."
I was busy working on this. I'm sorry.
Shit goes up, it comes down.
In this plane it does that. But if you go to the plane of limbo, when you drop it, it floats up.
This fucking guy.
I mean, it overall seems like a really big book. Like, it has to be a lot of important stuff, right?
Some of it.
But like,
yes.
couldn't you have read that earlier and like been done with it?
Well,
Seriously.
I did read it earlier. I was working on the formulas.
Fuck the formulas.
Guys,
The formulas are everything.
No, you throw things according to you, right?
It goes up, it comes down. That's all that happens.
Like shit, I can throw things and then it
Move on
happens.
From this bullshit.
So at this point, I'm going to ask you guys to explain what your characters look like to each other, as you are bickering in this like town square market among each other. A motley crew. We can go this way. I don't know, while I dip into the bathroom real quick.
Oh, I'm
not here yet.
Okay. Said you three. I forgot which three it was. My bad.
Our Nox Terror.
He's not deranged, the criminal.
So I swear to God, I did not make another Twinkie character on purpose. The dice did, because I rolled for my height and weight, but it just worked out that way.
How many of us have negative strengths? That's what I would like to know.
Not negative.
Just 0.
No positive.
I got negative.
Yeah, same hat.
So, Enta Alias is about 5'1", about 121 pounds. Like I said, I did not make this again like this on purpose, but he's got black hair, tan complexion. He wears kind of circle glasses that he's kind of always looking over when he talks to people, at least when he's in character. And he's kind of got that absent-minded professor look to him when you actually see him like out in public. He's wearing like pale blue robes, looks kind of nice, but not too overdressed.
And he's an elf, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay,
He very much is an elf.
Cool.
There we go. Sure. Yeah, they're plain clothes, but they're finely made. It's kind of that develop like you buy really high quality stuff, but you make it look bad so you don't stand out that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Ducello is a human, elderly, probably somewhere in the 80s, you would have to guess by looking at him. About average height, but, kind of the elderly gentleman build, so not very strong. White hair, the male pattern. He's got basically kind of call it a mini skullet, because there's not a whole lot up there. Wearing the imperial beard mustache combo, the little
Amazing.
Lemmy from Motorhead kind of thing. His clothes are, he's a magician, and so he wants to look the performer, but it's tattered and mended poorly in a lot of places. But still, it gives off looking colorful, but it's all very dark shades. That when he goes in the shadows, he disappears.
Awesome.
Urban camouflage.
Yes. Morag is a 4-foot tall, very squat built dwarf. She is 40 years old, so that makes her about a teenager, if you can even call her that much of a teenager. She's got a short pixie cut hair that's shock of pink and a little bit of orangey, fair complexion. She has some crazy stage makeup on and black, and she's wearing a lot of black and stuff, and her cloak is this studded leather cloak that it just looks like if you were a biker in a and you had leathers for when you're riding your motorcycle, that sort of thing. And she carries this axe that has a string attached to it for some reason.
Alden, as he's about 5'10", and he is wearing a cloak trying to be nondescript. Inside he has one of the peddler coats with all of his little potions and poisons and vials.
You guys want to buy a potion?
Yeah. And, has a bow over his back and
You just want to buy a sundial.
got a little hand
That's exactly what I was.
Want to buy a sundial?
Hercules
But it's all
guy.
down.
How old?
He is
Human,
20.
right?
Yeah, he's human.
Human and
Elf,
how much?
human,
How old?
20.
dwarf.
20 years old. Young bull.
Oh, no wonder
Oh, yeah.
we were friends, because we're pretty close
Oh,
in age.
And the audience is 350. So just saying, not as young as that.
So,
Fucking elf.
in the interest of time, you guys, which I have done terrible so far, so bad about that. You guys eventually assemble your little puzzle box, and you move a couple pieces around. This is something you're gonna have to solve in order to figure out what's going on. Who wants to try to solve the puzzle? It is one of those wooden interlocking pieces puzzles, and once it actually fits and it becomes flat and would show an image, but you can't get it because it's one of those, you can't get it to show what it is until you get those 3-dimensional wooden pieces to fit in a geometric way where then it can then finally lay flat.
You're
Make
the
sense?
mastermind.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I will try and do it.
Okay, go ahead and roll your tell me your dexterity first real quick.
16.
16. What's your sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand is +3.
Okay, you're fine. So you don't get you can go ahead and roll intelligence, and you don't get disadvantage for having old man fingers.
He's not the old man.
He's elf. I'm the old man.
He's the old man.
Old.
So sleight of
years
I'm
older
sorry.
than
Yeah,
you.
intelligence 15.
What?
15 with
15?
intelligence.
He's also trying to act like an old dude. 15? you
Yeah.
said? Yeah, you're able to, that's the DC, so you're just able to solve this. You're able to put the pieces together, move it around in a geometric way, and it's and it shows what looks like not a map, but in Thieves' Cant, which I believe all of you speak.
Three of us.
Right,
Three of
you
us
don't
do.
speak. In Thieves' Cant, it is the numeration of a certain checkpoint, of which only one of you knows. Mastermind.
Oh, the one who solved it. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You guys know how this
know where
works.
this is.
Sorry, go ahead.
Where are we going?
Don't worry, I know where it is.
Oh,
We can
right. I
get
can
There's-
tell you.
There's directions in that?
there. Of course.
How? It's a fucking box. Like, how do you...
It's complicated.
You have to know how to read it. It's just like a formula.
Don't throw that in my face.
You have to know how to read.
There's time for you to
So,
learn.
Thanks, Ducello.
you guys are very well aware that Noxetra likes to compartmentalize their information for exactly these purposes, unless everyone is present or everything is, everything is solved. Only one person has a certain amount of knowledge. Pretty much meaning that should anything happen to one of you, it would not compromise the whole. Or if one of you, if a wrong one of you would fall, then it wouldn't lead to the arrest of the others, or it wouldn't be able to do a certain thing. Information is compartmentalized for these exact reasons, and you do have no control over the structure of these groups, but somebody else moving pieces around does, and you don't know who they are, but you work for your goals. So you're able to find out that yes, this is one of the checkpoints to the south of the city, just north of the Man-Torn Forest, which is. You gotta remember when that graveyard used to actually have a gravekeeper. You remember what it used to look like. You also remember that there was a land dispute with that land and the city with one of the previous potentates.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to do an eminent domain thing. And Noxetra, in fact, you weren't necessarily on this job, but you almost were, doesn't deal usually in assassinations. Normally. Not really their deal.
Yeah.
But some Noxetra with less morals took a job and got rid of the Gravekeeper. And there are a lot of stories about how the Gravekeeper and then left and were never heard from because they would have gotten in trouble with the Noxetra.
Yeah.
And then left. And there were a lot of stories about how the Gravekeeper's restless soul still haunted that area to this day. And so it's one of the places you don't like to go too often, which kind of sucks that you have to go there now.
We just have to be careful. We just have to be careful. The gravedigger might be there. I know. It's changed accents, yes. Don't worry about it.
I gotta refine Ducello's voice after my
It's
intro
like
now.
the one character you can do that with, and it's okay.
Oh, especially with this one because of how much
so
he
many
speaks.
languages.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has so many languages.
It's like one of those spies that just flip and grift to...
Yeah, exactly.
A gravedigger's gonna be there? That's gonna be so cool. Can I get a signature on my axe?
If you can get him to hold the pen,
Yeah?
then you can.
Okay. Oh, I'm so stoked. This is gonna be awesome. All right, sorry.
Very metal.
Let's get out of here.
Sorry.
All right, so
He's just laughing because he knows that you're never going to be able to get the gravekeeper to hold the pen.
easily enough, you guys can exit the city. Exiting the city is easier than entering the city. I mean, you still have to go through a couple checkpoints, but you also know that the security is not as tight in certain areas and other things. And you guys have done this a lot. You know where to go. You end up there. It is past sunset at this point. You leave the city around sunset. And you arrive at this pumpkin patch and graveyard. Later.
I know. I can't.
Mastermind boy, what's your fucking name?
Enthealius.
Enthealius, thanks. Enthealius, you know where to go, you know what's what, you know what's where, you know where all the hidden trapdoors are, you know where the hidden trapdoors of the trapdoors of the trapdoors are. So you easily enough find your way there.
Periodically opens his book on the way, but that's because he's reading directions out of it.
I
People
will
just don't know it.
I will say, no roll required. You do notice that the that the crate that leads into the tunnel has been opened. And has been left ajar.
The other help may be here already. At least I hope so.
Let's
He's
just
not right.
take less time reading your book. Let's keep going.
What he said.
I can walk faster than you.
Burn.
I've got another 100 years to deal with things. What do you have?
I'm retired until I
Shade! Oh my god!
You're gonna die, so
I mean, like, a few months maybe.
Don't worry, just talk to me afterwards. We'll get this fucker. We'll do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's a son of a bitch anyway. I kind of know him.
Exactly,
There's
exactly.
a lot of voices.
He just kind of like nudges Darius and like nods kind of backwards for where the voices are coming from.
Darius is going to, like, draw a short bow, not, like, fully knock it, but just make a show of, like, being defensive, as intimidating as this tiny twink can look, but he tries.
You get Legolas ready. I get it. Cool. So you guys are bickering as you move down this hallway. Motley Crew, some of you amongst each other as this kind of just moving mass of... No, I'm not going to say it. Eventually you make your way to the point where some of you notice... Are you making your presence known around the bend?
Yes.
And you as well, or just you?
Queenie will just kind of follow Darius's lead, not like necessarily. Yeah, just kind of following the lead.
You see a what looks like a somewhat elven individual at the end with a drawn bow. Not drawn bow, but like on their person, equipped. At the end of the tunnel, and you're there as well. You three remind me of the names.
Ducello.
Ducello, I know.
Morag.
Morag, right. And then
Alden.
Alden. Oh my god. You guys. Jesus, I have enough problems with Alden.
Would you want like
Morag.
Joe and
I want name tags is what I want.
We can make that
My
happen.
name tags, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
I mean, we
great.
need to get you one normally.
We'll do.
anyway.
We'll
I
do
know.
names of the-
Right.
we'll do names of the-
Should just have it a
the branch
badge that
because,
flips.
My
Yeah.
God, my brain is fried. So, you all see this individual, Anthelius.
Theolius.
You can't even expect me to. Okay, so
He's an elf,
And-
though. Like, he's got a cool name.
okay, Anthe. Cool. So Anthe, you,
Antha. How's that? Antha.
Olius, maybe.
anathema.
Yes, yeah.
You
Ana-
see. What? You were the only one that has been made privy to that there is another individual that's going to be part of this. This is information that was not necessarily told for you to share with the rest of the group. So it was entirely up to your discretion as to whether you would. Usually when they say, if they don't explicitly tell you to do something, that usually means you don't do it.
Yeah.
But, at this point, cat's out of the bag.
I think Anthelius would probably try and hey, no need to shoot. Can we talk first?
You're going to have to explain why, because there's a very angry dwarf back here. I probably won't shoot, but she will definitely smash.
There's an angry dwarf here, too.
Hello.
Angelo, go first.
You hear
Me? What?
the male dwarven voice go like, "Well, she does." He doesn't have an accent. Honey. Sorry.
She smashed.
But while we're doing that, I'm trying to do something, if I can, like some sort of hand signal or something to let Darius know that we are with the Noxide.
Okay, yeah, you could do some thieves' can't
Yeah.
deal. You recognize it. Even though it's like been here for a couple days, you're with this shit. You that's your proud and joy is like you could watch people for like 2 hours, and you're like, okay, I fit right the fuck in. That's your job. That's what you're really, really good at. So yes, you recognize it. You do you.
Darius will sheath the bow again. Okay.
See, I told you it would be fun. Let's go.
Welcome to the tiny room.
Welcome to the tiny
Nice.
room.
A lot of tiny people in
as
here.
well.
Yeah.
You see a bunch, what looks like a bunch of like you guys can tell, seems to be refugees, are probably the object of your job here. Looks like a smattering of gnomes, smattering of dwarves that don't look like they have a whole lot. And then you see an Ibkest that seems rather well armed. And
Should we describe our characters?
you can,
at any
yeah,
point?
please.
Yeah.
Go for
It's
it.
been a while.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has. It really has.
Yeah.
And 8 levels will do something too. So.
Darius has not changed at all. He still is wearing weirdly immaculate clothing for the fact that he just crawled through a graveyard for a couple minutes. Like, he looks like the type of person that after looking at him for 5 seconds, you know he spent longer this morning getting dressed than you have spent on your entire morning routine. But
I love him.
otherwise, like, it's not the most gaudy fashion. He is very intense that he is fashionable, he's not gaudy. So, he has very nice clothes, very nice equipment. Just all around very, very clean cuts, slim. He looks mostly drow despite only being half drow. You can really only tell it in the ears. No, thank you, Dark Elf. Dark Elf. But other than that,
Just got sued.
he has very bright magenta eyes.
Queenie is like kind of not gaunt, but definitely like lean, kind of sickly, pale, yellow-skinned Ibkest with these like tall, spiraling horns, a tail, and they've got these like bright, kind of orangish reddish eyes, no pupils. But they've like the most interesting thing about their appearance is that they've got fungal growths like all over them, all over the horns. The flat of their tail, instead of being like a little point, is just this huge like kind of spiraling mushroom growth. And then they've got kind of almost bracers of like fungus like on their forearms, and then kind of coming up over their shoulders, almost like a collar that like wraps around to the waist and kind of tapers here.
I love it. You have armor of fungi on.
Pretty much, yeah. Notably, though, not that your characters would know this, but just for you guys, all of the bees are gone, seemingly. There are no bees anywhere on them right now.
So, that's what you see.
Questions on if you know Argent.
James, like, wait.
Mycelial network.
Right.
2 words.
Ideas.
Have you met my friend Ankyline?
Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys. This is part of your job. I'm gonna have all of the Nox Extra please roll insight checks, because they're rolling it on you guys.
That's so fair.
Are either of you trying to project the air? Actually, are you trying to project the air that you are the hired party and not the help?
Not consciously. I feel like Darius would just kind of act like that, though.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, are you trying to blend in with the refugees?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, like, Queenie, I would imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that Darius probably didn't give Queenie a lot of information on exactly what they're doing. So, like, generally speaking, Queenie is just kind of
There.
and,
got
like,
it.
following Darius's
Cool.
lead, but not, like, necessarily trying to, like,
I get
they're
it.
trying to
It's
be
fine.
pretty transparent in that, like, they are here, but, you know.
Yeah, I get it. So, what'd you get? Sorry, just not a big thing. Just
Yeah,
18.
No, you're good.
18,
19.
19.
Nat 24, 23.
Jiminy.
5 for an 11.
There we go. There he is.
You're proficient in it, aren't you?
Morag smelled the sweat, even though Darius is trying out.
So
Yes, I am proficient.
That's what I
I'm
figured.
proficient in a lot of things.
So the three of you that rolled so high get the sense that the fungal individual was not on the list of the people that are supposed to be here, and is not part of the party that is supposed to be smuggled into the city. They're an outlier.
She's suspicious.
In Elvish, and the others would say to Darius, is she supposed to be here?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I figured for this skill set would be very helpful. Trust me, it'll be worth it.
You know, as long as it doesn't interfere, it won't be a problem.
It won't.
I speak Elvish, so I heard all that.
So, yeah, I'm sure you did.
What? Can we all speak common here? Like some of it? Come on. Highfalutin.
There's time to learn.
I do appreciate you saying that and encouraging me into growing.
You've
Yeah,
got more
as an
time than I do.
individual.
Just saying.
Not if there's magic involved.
Would you like to see a magic trick?
Yes!
Coin purse.
No.
See, you're a smart one.
Not, well,
Hey, I'm not sure about the rest of us, but I didn't come here to make sure that you could get along with each other. I tried to get to where I need to get to.
Let's go.
Now, can you get us there or not?
He's the mastermind.
yeah, where are we going?
I believe I know the way. I think I do. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm playing confident though.
Yeah, I believe it's actually one of your abilities too. I don't think you can.
I can't get lost.
here.
No.
Neither
Yeah,
can
you
I.
know exactly where you need to go.
Yeah.
You know exactly where you need to go if things go according to plan.
Right.
You also can't get lost, so you know alternate routes. You have basically the subterranean outline as far as you know, or have been taught, all up here. Photographic memory, you got it. You wouldn't be able to get lost, meaning you could, even if you come across some bad shit or a blocked way, you could find an alternate route. It might just take you longer, it might take you more dangerous, but yes, you know where to go. You are the one that has the goal in mind. However, I will say that this many people is going to make the trek difficult. There are certain spots where you can't have like 3x3 or 2x2, and meaning that the line is going to be long, and some places aren't as stable as others, and yada 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 yada. So you start thinking
Plus
about that.
Added order of nobody can be seen.
Yeah, you have an order of nobody can be seen. So trying to keep everybody all in at once whilst trying to sneak them through some. So basically, make it short. You're gonna have to go through the sewers and the catacombs that are under the city. You kind of do some calculations in your head. Actually, go ahead and roll survival at advantage as you start thinking about this. As this very adamant female dwarf with this hammer is making a point that you should stop pussyfooting around.
Damn it. It wasn't flat.
If I knew where we were going, I could help too.
Sorry, which one was it again?
Survival at advantage.
10.
10.
Because the 18 wasn't sitting flat.
Okay. So the only way that comes to mind is that you're gonna need to enter the sewers in a certain way, and there's only one way that can accommodate this many people at a given time to make sure that you can sneak in fast enough to make sure nobody's seen, because patrols still happen to all of these, sewer entrances.
I have that same skill, and I'm a scout.
Yeah.
You can as well. Does that mean you also can't get lost?
Yeah, he
Okay.
took the same heritage.
Okay, you can roll survival at advantage as well.
Natural 20 for a 28.
He leads the way.
He starts telling you the plan, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
That's not where we go.
That's actually really so. Yes, I would say that, and
I'm sorry,
Anthe.
26. I thought I had-
Anthe starts saying, okay, Anthe starts kind of muttering to himself, okay, we're actually going to have to go up over ground and sneak past a patrol of guards in order to get to a certain entrance of a sewer in order to get to the point, because that sewer got closed off when there was flooding that one time, and we're going to have to go around. We can't take the normal route because that bridge can't stand that many people at the same time, and if we leave them behind, we're going to have an issue with, like, do we leave the fox on one side with the feed and the chicken on the other side, and then we're going to, it's just not going to work, and the chances of it being seen, he starts to do a bunch of numbers, and you're just like, dude. They opened up that sewer like 2 months ago because they started more housing, and we started to put plumbing in. Or like that's what occurs to you. Like he's trying to like do all these roundabout ways. I'm like, this door opens. That's what you think in your mind. I'm not trying to play your character.
No, I'd be like, well, we can go this way.
But you explained in a little bit more abstract terms.
Yeah.
You explained that, like, oh, actually, no, that way's open. Been there before.
Where'd you get your knife?
So you won't have to go above ground, which is good. You do know, even on a natural 20 with all that stuff, is that there have been, because there's been crackdowns on what's happening, there have been subterranean patrols. Like there have been patrols in the sewers lately. It's something that has been happening because of these crackdowns, because they know where people are moving about. But because you rolled that natural 20, you know that you'd have to just do a very brief stint into the sewers before you go deeper and dip into the catacombs that go way, way, way down. Catacombs are mostly made of stone that is like a bunch of obsidian as well, and carved, more cylindrical, old catacombs. They're more dangerous because sometimes there's critters down there. But if you go through the sewers a bit and then go down, dip down to the catacombs, you can come back up and end up in a much more advantageous position. There's still a risk of coming to guards,
Always.
but it could save you better part of a day and at like 3 extra encounters with possible patrols.
Yeah. So I'll explain all that to Mr. E.
That sounds right. I think that'll be the better way to go.
It's an old curl, sir, but it checks out. Great. The wee babe starts cooing again and making a couple of noises before the elder gnome is like shh, 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 and tries to. That's another thing. That's maybe a problem. If you're trying to dodge patrols, stay away from dangerous critters. Being silent is necessary. Having a babe that gives off noise like that is going to make things that much more difficult.
That creates the illusion. I don't like hides or
I'm
the
giving you
shit
shit
that's...
silently, dude.
Because you rolled natural 20, you have a choice here as well. You can do one of two things. You can enter the catacombs earlier and have a far greater chance of you encountering something that's dangerous and deadly, or stay in the sewers longer and have a greater chance of encountering patrols.
I would go with the sewers more.
Okay.
People are a lot more easier to sway than monsters.
Okay, if the rest of you start to make a plan.
I concur.
One of the things that everyone here becomes keenly aware of is that these refugees, as I will continue to refer to them for the rest of the session for my sanity. I'll split them into 2 groups. We got the gnomes and we have the dwarves. Okay, I will be using them if I need to move them around as groups of gnomes and dwarves, unless I decide to move them around. Otherwise, I will go insane. Okay?
It's just those, the pair of dwarves and the family of gnomes.
Trio of dwarves.
Trio of dwarves.
Is it
Tree of dwarves, family of gnomes. There are 2 female dwarves, one older, one younger, a male dwarf with 1 arm, and a family of not 7, but I believe 8. Did you count that?
How many of them are there?
We just figured out who they are, by the way.
You just figured that out?
You just did?
Yes.
As soon as they said
I've
one
been-
arm.
No,
Yeah.
7.
Oh, yeah.
7 of them.
I've
There
been-
was 6.
Also,
but
Mama's
now it's
very
you
recognizable.
just figured it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The fact that the hammer came in before words did was also a very big clue.
I just figured out who they are.
Oh, I've been resisting the urge to ask him for a while. There's no humans here?
Nope.
That was me resisting the urge to ask you, not my
You guys
Yeah.
like my intrigue? Is stuff happening? Are you the little cogs turning in your heads?
And while they're turning, we're going to take a
missing?
break.
Yay.
That's going to be our first break. We'll be back in a little bit. And as always, stay safe out there. Bye.